What's up? What's up? I'm back in the car. I know it's a little loud. Got a raggedy. I ain't gonna call it raggedy because you know spirituality, but it's a little loud. That's all I'm gonna say here. It is. But had a couple things on my mind, and some of the things I talked about before, and they kind of popped up during the D&B show. So that's a plug. Y'all make sure y'all check it out tomorrow, new episode. But I was just talking about how women has been built to, well, or in a game that they really don't understand in the sense of sexuality, and why they hate men so much in the sense of the things that we like, and how we approach them in the sense of like the masses. And it's like literally I was talking about how every Instagram photo or anything like that, it's like you got to show your ass or have some type of cleavage or something showing in the sense of that's just you want to show that, and that's how men approach it. It's like it came up because we talking about Lauryn Hill and talking about how she don't talk about materialism and she don't talk about the body and you just sex and shit like that. And it's like y'all don't glorify, even though she old, y'all don't glorify the people like Rhapsody or the what's her name, Azealia Banks and other women that rap. Y'all glorify Cardi B and Nicki and shit that pretty much only talk about materialism or their image. And it's like, well, shit, if that's what you portray and that's what you big up and shit, like, and then you show that in your same pictures, it's like, what do you expect to pretty much get out of a man in the sense of, you gotta realize, like, this something as I talked about before, like, everything that America was built on still exists today, and that's because it's the foundation. And it's like, we had racism way back in the day. We still trying to figure out that shit in the sense of, I don't believe it'll ever be figured out because, it's the foundation. You gotta just start a new foundation. But same with sexism. Like, this shit was built off the white men and how they degraded their white women, and then how everything else was pretty much second to her. And it's like, it's always been a ranking system. It's always been pretty much where you stand, and I guess a totem pole. And of course, like we've been seeing over the years, how certain people has risen up the totem pole and had certain statures in the society. But for the most part, it's always been a white man's world in the sense of not even imagery, but who making the money, who truly capitalizing in the sense of the elites. It's always been, politicians, mostly white men, judges, white men. Like, it's not even white women. It's mostly white men when it comes to, everything with the foundation in a sense, and the control and shit like that. And it's like, we try to change it, and we complain about certain things, but it's like, you don't realize where you come from. Like, you want to be in love with all this sex shit, and then you want men to look at you intelligently, believe. Like, it's like, you got to think how we look at shit subconsciously as a man. Like, we like titties, we like ass, this is a sexual act. But we do got a mental, but shit, if you always showing your ass and titties, we're going to naturally think that you want to be able to get down or some shit like that. Like, at least you'll be like, we'll think that you're sexual because you're showing off sexuality. So it's like, why wouldn't we, I mean, it ain't gonna necessarily say approach you straight off the back sexually, but why wouldn't you think that conversation will ever come up if that's how you always dress? And then you want to be like, well, I want to be free, I want to be doing this and shit like that. Well, I mean, that's what you consider free when you consider dressing. Like, a lot of, like, for the most part, women used to fight for their freedom in the sense of expressing their mental, not even how they express their body. Like, their body was always worshipped in the sense of, like, nigga, they always looked at you as an object and materialism and shit like that. But nigga, y'all was trying to express y'all mind, and y'all fell away from that, and you can kind of see it with the people y'all glorify. And it just go to show you, just go to all people, really, like, y'all try to fix racism, y'all try to do all these things, but this shit's gonna stay around until y'all fix the foundation it's built on. And the reason I can say that is like the same shit with the Thor. Like, he didn't know what his founding fathers had to do because they rechanged history. Y'all don't really know how y'all got this shit and how y'all came up. So it's like, that's a part of y'all slavery. It might not necessarily be mental oppression and shit like that, or physically oppression, but the shit that you still get got taken from us. And even though it's happened so long ago, it's like it still affects us to the day, and you still benefit from it for the day. Like, it's banks and all type of shit still going around today that was around in those times. So it's like I said, it's like, bro, until you change that foundation, until you change a lot of the things, you won't get change. You really just be faking it. Like, America is built off sex. It's always been built off sex. Like I said, like, men have always objectified women, but even when you go to cartoons, when you go to, like, cartoons we supposed to watch as a kid, they got sexuality in it. Like, they got the woman when she don't got no head, but she got her body. It just go to show you, like, even with the Magic Johnson, a black rich man with no head, just a body. It all go to show you just where the shit come from and how we don't even understand the products of who we are, and like why women always got to show their ass. Why women always got to feel like they got to be sexy. Like, it come from it actually come from oppression, and you don't even know it, but you fighting for that. And that's, I mean, it's just crazy. Let me go back and see my phone. I'm driving, so I ain't really want to go through my notes, but God got me. And I guess I'm capitalism, taxes, like the same shit that still exists. Like, almost, it's so many other problems that I can get up to, but like like the same problems that America, British, we fought and tried to free ourselves from taxes. Same shit still going on today. Overtaxation. Niggas still trying to get out of that shit. Niggas still been fighting that. Niggas still going to jail and being in prison for not listening to their kings and not paying their kings that money, that gold. And that, bro, like, I'm really repeating myself when I say the foundation that's being built will always pretty much create the same thing of that foundation, like in that product. Like, well, this is another little off-topic thing, and this is go to, like, I guess I'm just attacking on how we think, and you got to show people, like, bro, there's way more information out there, and stop following just all these movements and shit. Because even, like, to go back to my who are we and shit like that, and we claim slavery to the death, but like it's starting to be questionable, bro. Because, like, even if we was enslaved for a couple of years, like, bro, we got out of that shit quickly. Like, honestly, like, it wasn't no 300-400 years like they make it seem. We've been fighting them for 300-400 years, but we ain't been enslaved for 300 or 400 years. And if you look at some of the numbers I said, the peak of slavery was 60,000 people. The end of the peak was 43,000. Y'all telling me we all came from that many people? Because, I mean, at the 60,000, that's how many, pretty much, I mean, there probably been some free people and shit like that. So maybe another 10,000 to 15,000 people that they consider freedmen. Y'all telling me we only, all the black people in America right now that's here today and still and moved and all this other shit, died and all this shit in prison, like, we only come from 60 to maybe 80,000 people, bro? That's crazy. Like, the numbers, the odds, the statistics, bro, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. And that, and the repopulation and how fast it happened, it wouldn't make sense, bro. It wouldn't make sense. And, like, I'm not gonna sit up here and try to convince you on that. If you want to believe that you're a slave, that's fine, because right now we mental slaves. So, I mean, there's always some type of form of oppression, like being here, period, in bondage. And, like, I'm not gonna argue with you. If that's what you want to feel, if you feel like you can transmute that energy, good for you. I'm just trying to let you know, for other people, like, a lot of people feel subjugated. A lot of people feel like we ain't gonna never beat America, because it's like we've been trying forever, and people be like, America is this great army, this great heroes. It's like, nigga, they said the same thing about the Redcoats. They said the same thing about many armies. They said the same shit about the Rome. All this shit is failed because the people from the inside. And once you realize that, bro, they never had power. Almost when the French Revolution or French Civil War, they cut heads off. Like, that's a main reason why elites don't pretty much give up their locations and shit on where they stay, because, nigga, off with the heads. If we know where you stay, if you stay right next to the block, like, off with the heads. We know where it's coming from. But they start dividing and conquering and putting blame on other people. Like with Hitler, like, it's one person you can put your blame on, and then you can even go to the race of Germans. But with slavery, bro, a lot of people participated in it in a sense, so they kind of throw it off where you don't know who to attack, you don't know who to be enemies with. They even tell you your own kind enslaved you, but they won't tell you because there's a product of their environment and shit like that. But they'll throw that in there because it's like, well, everybody had slaves. Either you had, good luck or bad luck type shit. And he go to that American, what do you call it? The American dream. Like, even back then, you could say black people was finding the American dream. They were raising up, getting knowledge, productions. They was integrating with white people, all this type of good shit. It was good in the white man schools, white man systems. But it was always oppression and slavery in a sense, like I said, bondage. And it was always meant to be learning lessons and to figure out, bro, ain't no change in this foundation, bro. This foundation has been built, been sealed, been all type of shit. So many actions that came from this foundation. Ain't no going back. It ain't like we just created this shit. We have over, since they've been around 200 years that they've been in war, out of 217 years out of 239, like, we've been in war. So we only been having like almost about 17 years of freedom out of war. Like, and even then we still was in like turmoil and shit like that. Come on, bro. Like, y'all think we're gonna change that shit? It's been too much action. And even before then, though, how they got it started from wars. It didn't start from negotiations. It didn't start from voting. It didn't start like that. So why do you think it's gonna end like that? Like, everything in-house just starts almost in a sense. Like, bro, we popped up in this world with life. Like, we came out of our mama womb, bro. This shit was a surprise to us. Crying, all that light, all this shit. We came out of this darkness, right back to death. You go straight out of all this light, straight into complete darkness, back to going to sleep, back to going into that realm. Like, how you build your foundation is often how you end that hole. And it's just going to show you the testament of, like, what you are. Like, and realizing, like, I mean, as us, like, we are bigger foundations than this physical thing. So don't get it confused in the sense of you can't change yourself, you can't fix yourself. You're more than this physical reality. You have way more experiences than this physical reality. And once you start understanding your powers and things like that, you start tapping in. Speed up, don't slow down when you get on the freeway, fam. Learn how to drive. yeah, man, like it just go to show you. I ain't gonna sit up here and say every example end up like, cause niggas had great beginnings and had shitty endings. So I mean, it still go to your foundation that you built. That's how you end up having a shitty ending. So I mean, you might think you good, you might think you all glitz and gold, but them little cracks in the system like that you keep repairing with tape shit, that shit it's gonna be too much pressure eventually, bro, and it's gonna break. And that's America, that's Rome, that's all these great civilizations that didn't live under God, and didn't live under nature. And I mean, that's just honestly common sense. Like, the only thing that lives out every civilization is the foundation and the nature that we live in, this world. Other than that, building these fake systems and other things like Crumb Snatcher, or who was it? One of these dudes, Crumb Snatcher or Dan Calloway. Somebody I followed, or it might have been Flightbus. One of these niggas was talking about the economy. And it's like, bro, we create economies, but the world is the economy. Like, the fruit is the economy. You're going to pick fruit off a tree, nigga. Like, we got subsidized and this idea of like we got to be given to us, or like richness is having like, you know, what do you call it? Technology, in a sense where your fruit is in a store where you don't gotta pick it, so you feel like you're more civilized. But nigga, primal, which means first, like what they had, nigga, is the shit that's still here today, that's still usable, still can last. Like, the shit that they learned in nature will always be feasible until this world is gone. So we don't have the same thing in nature. But like I said, these systems and these economies and these fake things that we want to be, these fake titties, or this fake breast milk, this GMO ass shit, that this GMO ass society that we want to live off of, will never compare to nature. It'll never compare to the work of God and the work of us, like where we come from. Like, we come from nature. We don't come from this fucking society. This society did not make humans. This is not the Matrix. We're not fucking clones. We're not like, they're not our savior. We're not some fucking robots. Like, we come from way deeper than that, bro. We're not genetically modified, but in the sense of like, we are in the sense of like being created by the universe. Our DNA and all that shit. Like, we were created from higher realms of universes, in a sense, and not the genetically modified and how we know it now, and, you know, and shit. But kind of got off topic, but it is what it is. If you understand me, you hear me. I ain't out here trying to be super deep and have these hella over complicated ass messages. And just to go out, I know I don't like debating, and I ain't no real about choosing sides, because it's always a right and wrong. But I mean, there's always right and wrong in every scenario. But just a shout out to not even a shout out, but just, I guess I'm giving a shout out because I'm talking about it. But the what's his name, Flightbus versus astrology versus flat earth. And I throw my little take in there, like, bro, flat earth come from astrology, and even understanding flat earth, like, you can't understand that we're on this flat motionless plane without astrology. And I just go to show you, like I said, it's right and wrong in both of them. But what I was gonna say into that shit, I guess I was just getting off topic a little bit more. But people just gotta realize, man, and stop the arguing. I guess that's what I was saying. Like, people really was like, bro, the nigga that I listen to, Flightbus, like, he ain't got no knowledge, he uninformed. It's like, bro, y'all crazy. And it show you like how people be following this spiritual knowledge and shit, and you literally only following I can't even think of the nigga name right now, but it's probably for a reason. Like, you literally following this dude blindly, and it's like they both right in the sense, like they both had own perspectives. And I mean, one knowledge might elevate you more, and one of them, they both might be the same. You might need both of their interpretations to elevate you fully. So it's like, to pick just one side and be one-sided with a lot of shit and not understand full perspectives, bro, it just go to show you how people make religions out of spirituality. And like I said, I guess I'm attacking the mental and the foundations that people stand on right now, so I guess that's why I'm saying it. And it kind of, like I said, I don't like arguing and shit, but it upset me because it's like, bro, Bro Sanchez is in there, nigga trying to play him and shit. He was like, that's why my shit bigger. That's why my shit, I got a bigger brand and shit like that, because this is why I started talking about it. He stick with his shit longer, and he got these long ass videos and shit. I'm like, bro, I get out almost everything you said in about 15 minutes, and it's like, it's a testament to you and a knock to you, and just like it's a testament to me and a knock to me. Like, I can make longer videos. I got podcasts and shit out like that, but I'm just saying in the sense of, bro, just because you got long videos don't mean you talking more shit or putting out more knowledge, because like everything is about simplification. Everything is about, you know, if you can teach it to a kid. And if you can teach it to a kid, then it's more understandable. And that means you really got a foundation you can build on. Because, I mean, you know, kids are smart, but they still need simplistic shit to learn from, in a sense. And that's all I really got. Knocking down foundations. That might be the name, but I'm up out of here. Peace.